Hey, welcome to our new God's Love for the Unlovable and Gospel Rant series, our new format. We're calling it Vagabond Diaries. We want it to be fun, emotional, life-changing, entertaining, something that you would find valuable to pass on to others and laugh and cry a bit. Instead of dealing with biblical topics from a scholarly perspective, we've done a lot of those. We're just going to shift to telling biblical stories in a new way to get people thinking. And again, to change lives. Made up characters, sarcasm, wit, mockery. Thank you for the feedback, by the way. We love it. One person said, didn't know what was going on until he got into it a little bit, and now he loves it. So think of Bible group conversation starters, that kind of thing. We'll be doing some for kids. Over and over, we want to scream out, God's love is always for the unlovable, the unlovely, and the unloved. That's all of us on any given day. If we were just a little bit honest, it's the heart of the gospel. And we need to hear it. I need to hear it every day. I need to hear it multiple times a day. The idea of Vagabond Diaries came from my experience writing my award-winning trilogy for young reader fiction fantasies, Kingdom Quest. People have favorably compared it to Chronicles. It's for Christian young readers, 10 to 15 years old. If you know somebody who's that age or has some kids that age, or your church, get them the series, the Kingdom Quest series, The Tale of the Unlikely Prince, The Garden Tale, and The Unlikely Storyteller. You've got this, right? And C.S. Lewis said that if he had to do it all over again, he'd write more children's stories because adults read them. I agree. So that's our goal, yeah? Today we're going to have a little fun, tip of the hat to Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, with all apologies. I want you to meet Pilgrim. Yeah? Let's get into it. Welcome to God's Love for the Unlovable and Gospel Rant. Judas Face. Pilgrim's path has taken him alongside of a large, beautifully forested mountain that appears to extend in parallel with his way far beyond the horizon. As he inspects the impressive peaks, he notices a path that wraps around the cliffs woven in between. Magnificent oak boughs and shrubbery. He thought how magnificent the view must be from that vantage point. His peace was suddenly disturbed by a deep rumbling sound just behind him. Reacting quickly, he avoided sure destruction as a huge boulder came roaring by him, followed by a flurry of rocks and mud. If it wasn't for his quick mind and agility, he certainly would have been buried in a mudslide. At this point, he could see another traveler, another pilgrim, gazing down from the higher path. Pilgrim. Pray, sir, did you escape harm from the mudslide? Judas Face. Yes, we are protected from rocks and mudslides from the mountain while on this elevated path. I'm aware, though, of great damage done to your path. I have often seen the mountain rain down rocks and mud on the trails below. The path you walk is a dangerous one. Pray thee, make haste to join me on this better way, lest some harm befall you up ahead. With all due respect, one can obviously tell we are proceeding along parallel paths. My path is toward the high ground. It's therefore well traveled by the scholar, theologian, and the diplomat alike, while yours leads through fields of rejection, in the swamp of ridicule, and the woodlands of self-doubt, the bogs of loneliness, and is subject to many trials and anxieties. Since both paths lead to the same end, I have taken the higher road, and you should do likewise. Certainly this would be pleasing to the shepherd. Pilgrim. Forgive me, sir. While it does appear that our paths are towards the same destination, this lowly trail I struggle on is the shepherd's path. I understand the truth that there is only one shepherd's path. Judas Face. Fool! Why do you condemn me so? Why do you presume your path to be the only one? Why, even today, I've been about the shepherd's business. I offer direction to the king's messenger that clearly would save him great delays, I was able to offer my services to other travelers on my path in the shepherd's name. Your chosen path is very narrow, and if I may say so, quite limiting. What obtuse person would ever choose to travel beside you? Your path is dark and obviously lonely. And besides, what good can you do if you cannot meet people along the path? How can you serve the shepherd on a miserable path like that? Surely the shepherd would not allow his name to be used on such a pitiful trail. I pity you and do not choose to associate with the likes of you. You, sir, are a laughingstock. What will you tell the shepherd at the end of your chosen arduous journey? Pilgrim notices for the first time that his path has caused him to turn away from the mountain and enter the wilderness. Judas Face continues his soliloquy. Judas Face. From my high road, I can see the shepherd's domain, so don't preach to me. You and I are a lot alike, you know. We both seek to do the shepherd's will, but in ways so different. To come up my path, you must by necessity shed much of your obvious burden, and pride. The bulky guidebook that causes you great perspiration, it's of no real use to you up here. As a matter of fact, it's an offense to many we seek to serve. You see, we can best influence those we meet if we are of no offense. We wear their clothes and speak their languages, and also by necessity, we should only rarely mention the shepherd's name, except to our own, and then only when we are alone. The others would consider us fools and, not worth traveling with. It is fools like you who muddy up the water and disrupt all that we've accomplished for the shepherd. So, I pray thee, just continue rapidly on the trail that's been delegated to you. In the wilderness, you can do me little damage. As the paths diverge, Pilgrim looks up and sees Judas Face's path in the distance veer around the far side of the mountain. He could hear Judas Face singing a chorus or two of some song that is also familiar to Pilgrim. His words pierce Pilgrim to his very soul. Sadness, perhaps. Once into the wilderness some distance, Pilgrim can see the mountain in a different light. The huge walls and peaks that were so overwhelming have dwindled in the evening light to expose only a single peak with a single trail wrapping circuitously around the trunk. Pilgrim strained his eyes 3 times to try to perceive Judas' face, and then thought nothing more. The end. So I hope you enjoyed Judas Face. Again, apologies to John Bunyan. So here's a dialogue starter that I thought about. You can do your own, but here we go. What yeah buts come to mind after you hear the story? Maybe you imagine you're on a third path, right? Something in the middle. Please explain. What jumps off the page to you? Listen, if you like this Vagabond Diary, please like and subscribe it. Forward the link to a friend. Check out the fantasy books, the Kingdom Quest trilogy, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Some are, they're on Kindle as well, and some are actually on Audible. If you want more information, check out my author page, drbillsenior.com. I've also published a series for women's groups and spiritual formation called Dance, Daughters of the Most High. It will be a trilogy as well. The first one is out and is getting great reviews. It's fun, it's informative, it'll generate lots of fun dialogue and give women hope. It's about 7 underappreciated, misunderstood, and overlooked women in the Old Testament. Their stories are amazing and should be told. Check it out on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, drbillsenior.com. All right? Take heart, child of God. We'll see you next time.